tuned in.
Oh, and here we go again. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Tangent Central. I'm Terry Tangent, along with my brother from another mother, Vicious Vic. Vic, how are we doing today?
Oh, Terry, I'm great. It's good to be back with you. Let's see what trouble and entertaining subjects we can come up with today.
That's right. You know, we had a pretty good showing with our premiere. Pretty excited about that, and looking forward to this episode and a lot more. So just remember, tangenttroops@gmail.com. Shoot us your show ideas, questions, comments, whatever you got. Shoot them to us. We'll either talk about them here or we'll go ahead and respond to your email. Again, thanks everybody for listening, for tuning in. And Vic, what do you got going on down there this week?
Woo, it's hot. That's what's going on down here. It's hot. It's muggy. Mosquitoes will tear you to bits. They just sprayed, and I think it mutated them. Because these mosquitoes, you walk out, they're normally you can't hear a mosquito. You can hear these bad boys, and they're like, fresh meat, fresh meat. And
you worry about the small dogs getting carried off?
Oh, man, and the cat and Smokey's looking at me, and I'm like, you better be glad you're inside, because these mosquitoes ain't no joke.
You know, and that's funny. Here it's August, so we're in the prime heat. In our part of the country, anyhow. This is where it usually gets sweltering. But you think about it, summer went fast. It ain't going to be long. We're going to be complaining about freezing to death because it's going to be so cold with snow piled up.
You know, we was talking about this at the gym the other day, and we were like, it's hard to believe it's already August, get ready to become the middle of August, and like you said, in another 2-3 months, we're gonna be like, man, I wish it was warm. Man, I don't like it's cold. I guess it goes back, and I'm sure you've heard this too. The older you get, it seems like the months, days go by so quick.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed like we just got through with tax season at the car lot that I work at, and here we are in August. And I'm like, school just let back in. And I'm sitting here going, next week, I think it's next week or week after next. I think it's next weekend, the Kentucky State Fair starts. So, I mean, it's August is boom, 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 boom.
You know, there's no happy medium. You know, in the part of the country we live, you're in Kentucky down there, and I'm up in Chicago area up here. It's either brutally hot or freezing cold. We don't have the nice fall or early spring that we used to have. You pretty much anymore jump right out of winter into the dead of summer.
Yeah. Well, last year we had zero fall, because Halloween, I think we had our first killing frost down here. And then from then on, it was freezing.
I remember when, as a kid, Halloween, it would either be warm, I guess, nice out, or it'd be raining. And now it's either cold, or you got snow.
Yeah. No, when I did go out on Halloween, you're right. Either it was raining or you were like taking off your costume because it was hot. And
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, there's no happy medium. And, the job that I want. I know last episode we talked about jobs. The job that I want. I want the job of the weatherman.
You know what? I somehow knew you were going to say that because I say that.
That's the only job that you've got job security on. You could say, you can flip a coin. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this week we got a high pressure system coming through, and You got a 50% chance of rain every day this week, and you never get a shot of it. Yeah, they never get it right. And then as soon as that Friday, they come back and says, well, you know something, that system fell apart before it got to the area. Yeah, don't give me that BS.
And the best part about it is it don't even matter. It don't matter if you're right or wrong. I don't think I've ever heard of a weatherman getting fired because he was wrong all the time.
Ooh.
Or her.
Or her, yeah. And here's the other thing. And I know people's going to say, well, Vic, how could you say that? Okay, we're in the tornado belt. We're in the belt where we get tornadoes there, here, 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 here. We got a weatherman down here. I think he busts a nut when a tornado is in. Oh, wait a minute. You see that speck right there? Oh, that's damaged signature. Oh, can you zoom in there for a little bit? Zoom into that little spot right there. Oh, I think it's lofted. Oh, it's ladies and gentlemen, get to your tornado safety, your tornado safety space. Because there's one bearing down on you. The one that hit, I think it was Muhlenberg, not Muhlenberg County. Down there past Central City. Well, anyway, they had that big tornado that hit down there in Central City, I think maybe a couple years, 3 years ago. And it was tracking up the Kentucky Parkway, whatever it was. And I'm laying in bed. I'm literally laying in bed. And next thing you know, they said, oh, it's moving into Breckinridge County. Oh, Breckinridge County, get to your tornado safety spot. Then 10 minutes later, Brandenburg, Kentucky, be prepared because it's coming. I'm sitting in bed watching this fool. It hadn't even started thundering. It wasn't even lightning yet. But he said, oh, Brandenburg, look out. It's Meade County. You're under a warning. You're under a warning for the next half hour. I'm looking over at Smokey going, what is this fool talking about? It ain't even thundering. There goes the cat again. And then my phone's... Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you talk about tornadoes down there. It has been, unfortunately, the year of the tornado up here. I mean, we had the big one that came across and wiped out Lake Village a couple of months ago. And then just last week or the end of the week before, there was 2 or 3 more in one system that touched down right on the Illinois side of the border and then up through Munster and Dyer up here. So, I mean, there are 3 that I know of, probably more that came out of that system, just in a matter of probably a month.
I know it's their job to keep track of that. I get it. But you've got senior citizens. I'm thinking of the senior citizens that don't have a basement or don't have a crawl space. And you're on here going, oh my God. Oh, wait a minute. Can you pull up that little signature right there? And he's got his little thing there and he's circling it. And he's like, ladies and gentlemen, get to your tornado preparedness situation. You got a tornado heading your way. Bring it down a notch. Do your job, but bring it down a notch. Everybody gets so... one of my girlfriends used to get so mad at me.
I find that hard to believe.
Really? We're going to go there? But anyway, Angie, she used to get so mad at me. I would go to bed. What are you doing? I'm going to bed. Well, there's a tornado warning out. Okay, I'll see you in Oz. She used to get... I'd be laying in bed. Next thing you know, she would hear the siren. She's sitting in the hallway all covered up and everything. She's waking me up. Get up. There's a tornado coming. I said, what are you talking about? Don't you hear the sirens? I'm like, ugh. So I get up out of bed. I'm sitting there and the wind got up. Don't get me wrong. The wind got up. The rain got to beating the side of the house and all of that. And the next thing you know, the siren went off and the rain stopped. I said, can I go back to bed, please? She would say, "You're impossible." Well, yeah.
You know, a good boyfriend would have went outside and shooed it away.
I had a good boyfriend. Look, I survived. Look, I've went through one of those in 73. I'm not Superman. I'm not Black Falcon. I'm not none of them superheroes that can go, big on tornado, don't come this way. No.
I keep seeing little clips on TikTok and Facebook and all that. You know, it'll show a video of this massive storm and tornado coming through a place, and they'll say, you know, and then in Indiana, and they'll flip the picture over, and it'll be a guy standing out on his front porch with his camera taking pictures of the sky. I'm that guy. That's me. When that weather alert goes off, I go outside because you know what? I want to see what I can see. If it gets me, I guess it gets me, but at least the house ain't gonna fall on.
Well, I got a buddy. He's a storm chaser. He loves it. And I asked him, I'm like, brother, really? He says, Vic, I get the same thrill of chasing a tornado that you get when you step into the wrestling ring. I said, See, here's the difference. I step into the wrestling ring. I ain't got to worry about my butthole coming out my throat. I ain't got to worry about a tree toppling on top of me. You got trees, you got electric lines, you got everything going. He's like, oh, but man, it's the thrill of catching a tornado and videoing it and everything. I'm like, you the man, not me.
There's something to be said for those storm chasers too, because there's a couple of them on YouTube that when the weather gets kind of funky up here and nasty, I'll turn on, because apparently they've got a network of people that log in and video for their channel or whatever, but there's always somebody really close up here when the weather's bad here, and then I can kind of see what's coming. But those people, they don't care. They drive through that hailstorm with those softball size hail beating the holy heck out of their cars. They ain't worried about it. They're worried about getting that next shot. So that tells me that in order to be a storm chaser, you either have to have severe mental illness or really good car insurance.
Yeah, but okay, all right. I think you hit it on you got mental issues. I mean, here's my thing. Here's my take. My take on it is they've never really survived, been through an actual tornado to see what it can actually do. These guys, they're thrill chasers. I mean, more power to you. But I think if they've ever survived one or seen one and seen what it can actually do, I think I bet they would change their mind. Cause yeah.
There's a couple of them on the channel I watch, you know, on YouTube, and I'm not gonna drop the link, but Max, if you want to help co-sponsor, just shoot us an email, and I'll drop your channel all the time. Don't worry about it. But they actually had a group that drove through a tornado this last set, and they were in the neighborhood that storm hit and knocked the houses down and everything else within minutes, if not seconds, of when it happened. The electric lines were still arcing on the ground. They hadn't shorted out yet from the transformer. So I don't know. I think I could be a storm chaser until I drove through one, and then I think that'd probably be the end of it for me.
Okay, I can do neither. Hey, like I said, I survived the 1973 tornado that come through Brandenburg, and it literally picked our house up off the foundation. Picture the scene in Wizard of Oz. That actually happened. and it set the house down. It didn't set it down perfectly. It set it at a cat corner where it was off the foundation, but it didn't just drop. So I could not be a storm chaser.
And I often wonder because I've had them go, just south of me, and by just I mean a mile south of me. But as far as being in one, I've never actually been in one. But it always strikes me as odd or piques my curiosity when the helicopter or the drone, whatever it is flying over the neighborhood that got wiped out, and the house is completely off the foundation, and you look and all you can see is the concrete basement. Well, that just means those people were sitting in that concrete basement in the wide open while that storm was going through there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I respect them. I know what they're doing. It's supposed to, they're supposed to send that information to the National Weather Service, and it's supposed to give us, it's supposed to help with early warning signals, early warning signs, all of that. And you're doing it for free. It's one thing if you're getting paid to do it, but you're doing it for free. I ain't chasing nothing for free. I ain't chasing a woman. I ain't chasing a car. I ain't chasing a tornado. And here's another thing. Hurricane people. They're flying to the eye of a hurricane. No.
No. I never really thought a whole lot about hurricanes. I've got family that lives, excuse me, in Biloxi in Mississippi, and they get affected by hurricanes often there. But I never really thought a lot about a hurricane until I started going on cruises. And now I kind of think, because we booked our last vacation for this year toward the end of September, and we're going on a cruise to the Bahamas, and I didn't think a lot about it until, Google listens to just about everything you do.
Yep.
Well, I'll be doggone if the day after I didn't book that cruise, I started getting things on my Google about months to avoid taking a cruise in, and the headline being late September, early October.
Yeah, that's the start of the hurricane season.
And I said, "What, Google? If you're so smart, why couldn't you have told me that day before yesterday until I paid all that money to go on this thing?" So yeah, it's I fortunately bought the top tier drink package, so before that thing gets out of the port, I'm hoping that whatever happens ain't really gonna matter a whole lot to me, because that's got me wondering now.
I got a funny story for you. I got one of my old high school buddies lives in Florida. He's been trying to get me to come down there. So I was going to go down there. Get a drive down there. I'm all set, ready to go. I had my bags packed. And he called. He said, Vic. I said, yeah. He said, what are you doing? I got all my stuff loaded in the car. I'm going to get up at like 4:00 in the morning, and I'm going to head your way. He's like, nah, you may not want to do that. I said, oh, you reneging on the invitation for me to come down and stay? No, we're evacuating. They said there's a Category 4 hurricane headed our way. All right, my ass is unpacking my car, and I'm going back home. I'm going to sit here at the house because I can't drink that much water, and I can't walk on water.
Right? Yeah,
and it was around September too. So I'm just saying.
Great.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, I'm banking on the folks that say, "Oh, those cruise lines do this all year, every year. They're really good at driving around those storms."
You better have one hellacious drink package. I'm just saying.
I'm kind of banking on it being there for me if I need it.
To be honest with you, I would probably have me a a little small little thing of Doncha also.
You-
I mean, I'm just saying.
there's always that too.
Yeah, I mean, alcohol with a little bit of Doncha, and then you pretty much don't care what happens after that.
Now
I'm just
speaking
saying.
of, is that legal in Kentucky now?
If you got a card,
It's medical only. It's not
Yeah.
recreational there yet.
Yeah.
Just medical only.
well, yeah, there's a fine line on what you call recreational and
Sure.
medical. I mean,
Sure.
because
Yeah, I mean,
there's places that says it's medical, but then when you walk in, oh, I got strawberry crush, I got this. Oh, then they can say, now over here, this stuff right here, this is the stuff. Over there is kind of but right here, it's mixed. So you
What
got your medical and you got your recreational.
what did Billy Mays used to say? But wait, there's more.
Exactly.
See, now here in Indiana, there's none of it legal here.
Really?
Yeah. Indiana is the last to the party on everything. Illinois has legalized it. Kentucky, you just said, has legalized it. Michigan has legalized medical and recreational, like I think Colorado. But anyhow, what I'm getting at there, you kind of tripped something in my head here. So Indiana, it's completely illegal. So what are these doggone Indiana cops doing now? They're pulling everybody and their brother over that their buddies in Michigan are watching leave the dispensary as soon as they come over the state line. It's a big cash grab here now.
Oh, that's bull. But hey, yeah,
They started putting those flock cameras up everywhere that shoot your license plate, and they know where you're at and all that good stuff. Well, the big scuttlebutt in the news and everything has been those flock cameras are run by private companies that sell your information off to the police departments and just about anybody else who wants to pay for it. There is no way that is constitutionally right.
Well, no, you're invading somebody's privacy. I mean, what if? Okay, say if me and you go to Michigan, just to go to a concert, or go to a football game, or just go to Michigan to watch a wrestling event, and we come back and we get pulled over, and really?
I'm saying I was kidnapped.
Oh, thanks. Thank you very much. I see, ladies and gentlemen, we've been friends for a long time, and I wouldn't expect anything less, because I was going to say I was kidnapped. I don't know this man. He's going to beat me to the punch.
Officer, I'm not real sure what's going on here, but if I was you, do not look in his center console.
That's my buddy right there, people. That's my buddy right there.
That's the only reason I get away with it.
Yeah, because they'd be like, they would look at him and say, just wink at us if you're in danger. Just, wink at us and he's sitting there blinking.
My eye'd be closed.
Sir, step out of the car. For what? Sir, step out of the car. What in the hell have I done? I ain't done nothing. He's sitting over there going,
hey, officer, you think you can give me the keys so I'm not stranded out here, please?
And he's going to leave me in the middle of the highway. No, I won't be in the middle of the highway.
No, yeah, I wouldn't be able to get you for a couple of days, so I'd have to be able to get back home somehow.
Hey, this is
But anyhow, what I was getting at was it's legal medically or recreationally. Just about, there's very few places in the United States where it's not anymore. But if you look at the places where it is, Colorado, crime is down.
Yep.
But their infrastructure is thriving because they're using that money that they're taxing that through the stores. They're using that money to rebuild their highways and bridges. And, so listen, I don't care one way or the other what you do. Obviously, it's just like alcohol. Don't drink and drive. Well, don't smoke and drive. I
Exactly.
don't care what you do. Just don't put anybody in danger. There's arguments, and I don't keep up with it that much, but they say, oh, it's much safer than alcohol, or and I can see the argument is, have you ever seen anybody that drinks a half a fifth of this get into a fist fight? Well, absolutely. Well, have you ever seen anybody who's smoked a joint well, no,
Oh,
because really they're just looking for a bag of Doritos and a Pepsi and someplace to chill.
yeah, just leave me alone.
I don't know. It's just 20 years ago or whatever, if we would have been having this conversation, I would have told you you're crazy. There is no way they're gonna. I don't even care if it's California. They're not gonna be. But we're there. We're
Yeah.
there now, and okay. I haven't heard since they've been doing that. Legalize it in different places. I haven't heard of any huge crime ring that they've. So the point is, you got to keep up with the times.
Yes.
If you agree with it, you agree with it. If you don't, you don't. But that's just like anything else. If you don't like cars, don't buy one.
Exactly.
If you don't like alcohol, don't drink it. And that's no different. So kind of, I was thinking about that when we were during our last episode. I was thinking about crime and what you're not seeing or hearing. I don't live there, but I don't see it on the news about massive amounts of crime due to them legalizing. I don't see it. So it serves its purpose. Medically, it absolutely serves its purpose. That's been proven. Recreationally, all right, that kind of is what it is. But if you want it bad enough, you'll always be able to find a doctor that'll write you a prescription for a migraine. Because guess what? There's no real test for a migraine.
Look, here in Louisville, in Jefferson County, there's a guy that will sell that for, I think it's $200. $200. Get you a card.
Sure.
And it's good for a year. And you just go and you shop, you get your stuff and go on about your business.
Several years ago when this whole thing started, it's been quite a few years now, but it was back in the beginning of the legalizing it and whatever. And I'm from Indiana, so it's never really, because I know they're never going to do anything. Anyhow, I was on vacation and I landed at McCarran Airport in Las Vegas, and we were driving down the highway there, heading to the Strip, checking our hotels, and there's this great big ass billboard on the side of the road, and it says, Dr. Weed, call this phone number. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And that was the start for me of really paying attention and recognizing, that, hey, it's time, we're moving on up, as George Jefferson used to say.
Yeah.
And you sit and wonder, all right, so that's where we're at now. What's next? What are they, what's next?
Well, you just leaped over the big hurdle by that. So yeah, what is next? What's the next thing that you can't do that they can legalize and make money off of?
Right.
Because that's what it is.
Sure.
It's the thing to where, okay, it's guys has been selling weed behind dark back alleys and this and that and this. They made it legal, so now it's like, yeah, all right. So alcohol's already legal. Okay, weed's legal now. So what is the next thing that we have that's illegal that they can profit off of?
Sure.
And
I don't know.
That's basically what it is.
It is. And I don't think whatever it is out there yet. I don't think it's out there yet because, maybe it is, and they just haven't uh, released it yet or whatever. But it's modern, and that's and I'm going to go down a conspiracy theory hole here. There is no way, with as far as we are with technology and modern medicine being the way it is, that you cannot tell me they have not found a cure for cancer, for
Oh,
diabetes, for different things like that. The problem right now is there's no money in a cure.
exactly. It's a money grab. Cancer is a money grab.
How many hundreds of thousands of people die from cancer? That used to be the only thing that we talked about. Now diabetes.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that somebody somewhere hasn't developed a bionic pancreas that'll produce insulin or something, to fix that. Cancer, same thing. There has to be some type of concoction that will kill those cells, that will eat those tumors, kill those cells, and those people can be more healthy than they are, but live a normal length life, and not have it cut short just because big pharma can't make their $3,000 a week, or how much god awful they charge for
Oh my
those
God.
prescriptions.
It's ridiculous. I mean, here's the thing. I'm going to go down that hole with you also, the conspiracy hole. I'm sure somebody has come up with it and they got killed over it.
Sure.
I mean, you ain't going to tell me that some brainiac was sitting in a laboratory and said this, and he experimented on a rabbit or something with the same kind of disease, and it cured that rabbit, and he went and told somebody, and that somebody said, we got to kill him. We can't buy him off, so, we kill him. Because, like I said, it's a cash grab. Chemo, I don't care what they say, chemo hurts the people worse than it does cure them.
Well, it's my understanding that's chemo is a poison.
Yeah, and the only reason why I say that is my former boss, but he overdid it. He doubled the amount of chemo that he should have had. And it almost just that alone almost took him out.
Mm.
But I mean, here we are, 2026. He is, let's see, close to 7 years cancer free.
Good for him.
But I mean, when you see, you can see the side effects of all the chemo and all the radiation that he took. I mean, the side of his face is raw. I mean, okay, yeah, you're cancer free, but at what cost?
Right. And that's the other thing.
He had the money to go to Mexico and actually get the treatment without having to do all the chemo. Yeah, that's the thing.
And that brings up another side of that too. So we've got something, and have had something in place for how many ever tens of 20s of years chemotherapy's been around. But like you're talking about with him, what's the quality of life like after the fact? Granted, yes, you're still alive, and you're still able to see your kids, your grandkids, your wife, whatever the case is. But what truly is that quality of life after you completely ravage your immune system and hope that it semi redevelops?
Well, with him, like I said, I'm only speaking with him. He gets cold quick because, I mean, it's done. I mean, your immune system is shot. I mean, he can't. He's not as mobile, or I think it does something not only physically but it does something to you mentally.
I'm sure it does.
I mean, because this guy was a whiz kid. This guy was a whiz. I mean, you can ask him a question about anything, he was on it. If you had a problem about a car, he could tell you. Okay, he could diagnose the car before you even brought it to him. Computer stuff, he could get on the computer. Oh, right there. Right there. Right there. Now, granted, he's 74. Bless his heart, he's 74. But you could tell that his factors are not there. And I would say probably due to the overexposure of the radiation, that has a lot to do with it. I mean, he's not sharp. I mean, so like I said, come on, big pharmaceuticals. You know, I get it. Cancer is a money grab. You know, like AIDS was.
Sure.
Like
Sure.
AIDS. I mean, Magic Johnson tested for AIDS, and he's the healthiest AIDS person you ever saw before in your life. Why?
Well, that's good.
Because he left, and plus he's got this.
Exactly. That's what I was getting ready to say. He's got money.
If you got money, you can get a cure.
I forget what they said each one of those cocktails of medicine that he was taking, I think it was 3 times a week, cost. It was something like $10,000 or $15,000 per dose. You know, I don't know anybody, at least I don't think I know anybody, who can afford $40,000, $50,000 a week out of their pocket to fight something like that.
No.
If I do know you and I don't know about it, give me a call, because I got some
Same
ideas.
here. Same here. I'm right there with you. But I mean, it's just, you know, and I think that's BS. That if you got money, you could cure somebody. That's BS. Give me a break. Because not every, like you said, not everybody's got 50,000 a week or 100,000 a week. Hell, 100,000 a month.
Right.
I mean,
Right, yeah.
so you know, come on.
I don't know. I don't believe I know anybody that has that type of I don't even want to call it disposable income, that the ability to even spend that, whether it's going to lose their house. That is a massive amount of money to take from someone who is ill to begin with.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's probably never going to change in our lifetime. You know, I imagine one day there'll be robots cruising around that can whip it up for you at the house and not cost you anything, but who knows?
Oh yeah. I mean, well, hey, they've already figured out how to have a robot car driving you to your destination. So yeah, I mean, it's slowly getting to that. But once again, will you be able to afford it?
Right.
You know, man, you won't be able to afford it.
Not unless I hit that Powerball tonight.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, you know,
and that's the biggest, you know, and I think that's the biggest work. I mean, 1 minute, you know, it gets up there, and then all of a sudden, you know, Joe Blow that don't need it, he mysteriously gets the numbers. They say it's 1 in a billion chances, but Joe Blow from Idaho can hit it, and he don't need it.
Right.
It's never nobody. I've hardly ever heard of anybody hitting the lottery that actually will benefit from it.
The only one I can remember hearing about that hit that actually needed it, and I cannot remember what state that guy lived in, but he was an older guy and he had cancer. And he hit for, it was hundreds of millions. And I remember saying when that happened, you know, I was disappointed that it wasn't me, but I'm like, you know, if anybody had to win, I am so glad it was that guy.
Exactly. No, I'm right there with you on that. Yes.
And when things like that happen, you know, it doesn't matter. I don't ever, you know, you don't deserve anything, but if anybody deserved to something like that to happen to him, it was that man.
Yeah,
Is it gonna cure him? Probably not, but is it gonna make whatever time he has left that much easier on him and allow him to do those things with his family or whoever that he wanted to do? And maybe he didn't want to do anything with his family. Maybe he just wanted to donate money to a homeless. Who knows what he wanted to do with it? But at least he has that opportunity.
exactly.
So it's kind of one of those things. I play, and I know my wife gets tickled when I say this, but unless it gets up over 100 million, it ain't worth me spending the money on trying to win it. Well, that's about the dumbest thing I could say, but I say that all the time, and I'm like, I sure ain't gonna complain if somebody hands me. I'll take 100 grand. I'd be more than happy winning 100 grand. But
Yeah.
boy, it sure would be nice to get that check with all those zeros and that commas in it.
I'm like you. I used to say, just let me hit for 50 grand. I could pay off bills, and I could live comfortably for the rest of my life.
I don't know if you could live comfortably on 50 grand anymore unless you're planning on checking out next week, but
Dang.
but I know what you're saying.
But I mean, well, I could live, okay, maybe comfortably, but I wouldn't stress about nothing. I wouldn't
Correct.
worry about, what about this? What about that? But yeah, 50 to 100 grand, I'd be like, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
We got this.
Yeah. I sit and I'm a dreamer. I've always been a dreamer, and take it for what it's worth. But I'll get stuck in that sometimes when I'm looking to see what the jackpot's at after I bought a ticket or whatever. I'm like, all right, so what would I truly, or what do I think I would truly do with that money? And I've went from, all right, so I'll take 25% of that and take it in cash, and then I'll set up a couple of trusts for, the kids and my brother, who, my brother's been a career fireman ever since he was 21 years old, and he's pushing almost 30 years in the fire service now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I thought he was talking about me. He said brother, so I was thinking maybe I could get a little handout, but I guess I was wrong.
I ain't got to you yet.
My gosh, here we go.
But and get that stuff set up, and the rest of it I can invest. And folks, I'm not no financial planner, no nothing like that, so don't take anything I'm saying as anything other than what I would personally do. But that 100 and depending upon what it is, that 120 million, whatever it is, you put that into like municipal bonds, a safe bond that's that pays 3 or 4%, and you stagger those over 20 years, you can live off that interest and make $7, $8, $9 million a year in interest and never touch that principal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, that $100 million in the bank when I kick the bucket, that ain't going to happen. So now you got to come up with a spend down plan to where you go through that money, and then you got to figure your own mortality. Well, how many more years am I going to live? And how are you going to take care of your close friends the best way that you possibly could? And then I thought about it, and speaking to you now, you live in Kentucky and I'm in Indiana, but I ever hit that kind of money, I'm obviously not going to stay in Indiana. I'm going to go someplace where it's nice most of the year, and I'm going to have some land. So I thought about it, and I'm like, with that kind of money left, I can buy me a nice big tractor with a lawnmower attached to the back of it that'll mow how many ever feet at a time. Well, I could bring Vic down, and I could get him his own room in my new house and everything.
Hey, just some bullshit.
And I could pay him $150,000 a year, and all he would have to worry about doing was mowing the grass twice a week.
Sign me up.
That would be it.
Yes.
Now, granted, it'd be 50 to 100 acres. But
Oh, wait a minute.
that's,
Wait
but
a minute. Hold on.
you know, but it would be so much. Oh, my meter's going off here. But you sit and think about who actually am I going to take care of? How am I going to take care of them the best? How am I going to set them up with my good fortune? How am I going to set them up to where they don't have to wake up tomorrow morning going, man, I don't know how I'm going to pay that power bill, or man, my car's been acting up. How am I going to get that car fixed? You know, I don't I don't know the right answer to that, because like for you, I wouldn't worry about it with you, because I know I'd have to argue with you over you taking that check to even begin with. But
yeah,
but I would take care of you, and we would do something to where you still felt constructive in what you were doing, but you didn't have any financial burdens. And I just wonder how many people that actually play those games or actually win those games think about things like that, or if they're just worried about
themselves.
What they're going to do
with
that money. I've got, and I mean, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. There's 3 people besides my wife. Well, there's 5 people with her. There's 5 people, 2, 4, no. See, I'm lying. I would take care of both of my parents. I would take care of both of her parents. I would take care of the kid, my brother, you. So that's 8 people. 8 people. There is no reason in this world to where A, I couldn't do that, and B, am I truly going to miss that money in the grand scheme of it, winning that type of money, that massive amount of money? I don't think so, because even if I gave everybody $5 million, right, that's $40 million out of a $222 million cash payout, which is what it's at now. You really, I mean, $40 million, that's a lot of money, but are you truly going to miss it out of something that size?
No,
I don't think so either. And there would be people that say, oh, you should be a little more generous than that. Well,
okay, well, here's the thing. All right, not to cut you off. Here's the thing. You wouldn't miss it unless the people that you gave it to bled and didn't do something productive with it. That would be my thing. If I hit the lottery, and like you, if I give somebody 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, 50 million, and tell them, so now this is yours. Do what you want, but don't come back looking for me. And yeah, I'm not going to miss it. But when I go to see that person that I gave that money to, and they're still in the same position, and I'm like, what did you do with that money? Oh, well, I went multiple cruises. I did this. I did that. But okay, you're stuck back in the same situation that you were when I gave you this money. So why did I give it to you?
I've got, and again, I told you I'm a dreamer and I'm a planner. I've got the fix for that, because if it ever happened to me, and I was the one that was lucky enough, fortunate enough, blessed enough, whatever you want to call it, to win something like that, each one of those 8 people that I just talked about, when you claim that prize, you obviously want to form like an LLC or something, so you stay private. Those folks would become employees of that LLC, and they wouldn't get a $5 million check or $10 million check, whatever. They would get whatever $150,000 a year broke down into 52 weekly payments, whatever. There's your paycheck. There's your paycheck. There's your paycheck.
Good, right there.
They don't have the chance to squander or blow that money.
Exactly.
Because I know that if I didn't set something up for myself and my wife that way, we'd blow through it. It wouldn't matter how much it is, because you get stuck in that cycle of, it's unlimited money. What's 150,000 here? What's $700,000 here? And the next thing you know, you're on that lottery nightmare show, being broke ass and in bankruptcy court.
Yep.
I know that.
Same here.
I know I have an addictive personality, and I know that I like to gamble in Las Vegas, and I know I like to go on cruises. And if I had that kind of money, I know I'd want to travel the world. Could I do it? Sure, I could. But could I do it every day of the year for more than probably 10 years? Nope, because I'd be broke. So that's kind of, it's that's the kind of thing when I don't have spare time, but when I do have spare time and I'm sitting around bored, there's no game on TV. That's the kind of thing I think about. How am
I
I
think
going to
we all
help?
do.
How am I going to help my circle if I was ever, thrust into that position? And I don't know. My wife laughs at me all the time about it. She's like, people like us don't win the lottery. Well, that's fine and good to say things like that, but I still have that little glimmer of hope in the corner of my eye that one day something will go my way right. And
Exactly.
I may not hit the big one, but even if I get something smaller, I do hit it and I got to split it with 2, 3, 4 people. That's okay too.
Yeah. I'm
not going to complain.
I'm not greedy.
Yeah. No.
I'm not greedy at all. But yeah, no, the way that you got it laid out that way, yeah, that would be the only way that the people wouldn't blow through the money that you gave them.
And during that time, say you get your, I don't know what $150,000 a year comes out to weekly, but let's just say it's 150, 52 weeks. Anyhow, you decide you want a new house or something. Well, don't finance that.
No.
Come say, hey, I'm wanting to buy this new house. Can I dip into that 5 million a little bit? Yeah, let's go pay for it right now.
Exactly.
And then it's done, and you've done something with that that's going to A, better your situation, and B, you're not going to be able to run through, what's left. It's just something that I worry about helping people in general. I don't want to set them up to fail because it wouldn't be you, but there are people you could hand, a $5 million check to, $10 million, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, 8 weeks later, they're knocking on your door. Hey, brother, I'm in a jam. Well, how are you in a jam? And they've blown it because they didn't plan. They weren't responsible, and they went hog wild with that money roll.
The number one thing is trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yep. And you know what? I'm 51 years old, and the Joneses, I couldn't care less what they have.
Same.
I know what I want, and I know what I need, and I don't care.
Yeah.
I get it, and I swear to you, if I won money like that, I would buy me a brand new truck. I would spend that. I would buy me a brand new truck. We'd we'd figure out where it is we actually wanted to move to, and either buy something beautiful there or have it built. I'd get her a new car. I'd make sure the animals are taken care of. I'd take care of the 8 people that we talked about. And then I would start looking at, okay, so if I said I was going to make, pay myself $8 million a year. All right. So what did I just spend out of that to set myself up? Oh, I've got $4.5 million left. So $4.5 million divided by 52. There's 52 weeks in a year. Well, this is what I can spend every week for the rest of the year and still be okay.
It still be all right.
And it's a good problem to have when something like that happens. But I truly feel that if you don't think about it and have some type of plan, if God willing that was ever to happen to you, and you didn't have anything thought or whatever, I think you'd just go plumb stupid and you'd be on a TV show.
Oh, yeah. Well, like you said, you see it all the time. These people win these big lump sums of money, and next thing you know, they're like, you're broke? Oh, well, I bought me a Maserati. Oh, I did this. Oh, I did that. I'm like, You didn't think about putting none back for a rainy day? I mean,
Yeah, because, and the first thing everybody always says is, oh, you just won the lottery. What are you going to do? I'm going to quit my job tomorrow. Well, now let's think about that for a minute. All right. So you walk in and you quit your job, right? So now you've just lost your health insurance
yep,
and all that stuff, and you haven't even got your money yet.
exactly.
There are so many things that you have to get lined up before you go get that check, because once you get it, if you don't do it right, everybody and their brother knows who you are.
Yep.
And now you got them knocking on the door with their hand up.
Yeah. You found out that you got relatives that you didn't even know existed. Wait a minute. Hey, cuz, I don't know you. Oh, you crazy. You crazy. Remember, we used to play in the sandbox. I ain't never played in the sandbox with you.
Yeah, we were best friends in kindergarten. Don't you remember?
No. Kindergarten. I'm 59 years old. I do well to remember what I did Monday.
The only thing I remember about kindergarten was those little whistle chairs and taking a nap.
Yep, on the floor.
You're right. All right. So now that we've dove through the serious, through the semi non-serious, and then through the wishful thinking, we're just about at that hour mark, and we're going to go ahead and close this episode down with the final thoughts. Vic, go ahead and let her rip.
Football season is back in full swing. I just watched the very first preseason game. Normally, I don't watch the preseason game. I don't watch the Hall of Fame game because it's a bunch of guys trying to make the team. They're not playing at full strength. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. But I have to say the Arizona Cardinals and the Carolina Panthers put on one hell of a football game. Everybody was talking about Carson Beck being a buzz. That young man played his ass off the other night. Little Kenny Pickett, the quarterback with the little bitty hands, he did all right. But I'm telling you, the backup quarterback, King for the Carolina Panthers, Bryce, you might want to pay close attention. I seen that touchdown toss that he did, and the cameras was on you, and you was over there biting your fingernails thinking, where did this guy come from? Man, no, I got to compete to keep my job. So, like I said, the Hall of Fame game, if you got the NFL Network, watch it. I guarantee you it was very, very good. And it came down to the wire to where the Carolina Panthers won it off the legs of that quarterback, something King. Watch that young man. I promise you. Bryce Young, you better tighten it up because you got somebody on your heels.
Hey, and speaking of the NFL, did you hear that the Chicago Bears are probably going to be the Indiana Bears pretty soon?
Yeah, what is up with that?
Sounds like they're moving to Hammond, and that'll be good. I can't wait to go over there and see how many home runs they hit the first game. You're listening to Tangent Central.